The ayes to the right, 329. The noes to the left, 302.
MPs voted on Monday night to allow Parliament to host indicative votes on several different Brexit options, which the House of Commons will consider on Wednesday night. Indicative votes are designed to see which out of a range of options on a particular issue could get a majority in Parliament. But what are the possible Brexit ideas MPs could vote on, and what do they mean? It's up to Speaker John Bercow as to what options will be voted on, but one of the possible options is the Prime Minister's deal. The delay to Brexit has been a bitter blow for Thersea May, whose proposed deal has already been rejected twice, and the Prime Minister has herself admitted that it doesn't currently have the numbers to pass in Commons a third time.
Early legislation will be introduced to provide for an in-out referendum on membership of the European Union before the end of 2017.
Whilst Article 50 was what led to the initial withdrawal deal of Britain from the European Union, close to 6 million people have signed a petition to revoke the process. However, this would reverse the democratic will of 17 million people who voted for Brexit.
What do you want? Brexit!
Striking a deal which would include a customs union with the EU is one option which Labour have long been arguing could help to solve the Northern Ireland backstop question.
What I am proposing cannot mean membership of the single market.
The softer version of the PM's deal would mean goods could travel between the EU and the UK freely, but it does suffer the risk of not allowing Britain to establish its own independent trade deal with countries outside of the EU. If May's deal is rejected for a third time, the UK could still leave on April 12th without any deal at all. Critics argue that this could leave too much to chance, risking a hard border in Northern Ireland, supply chain chaos, and reduced cooperation between the UK and EU on security. Brexiteers insist the UK wouldn't have to pay its divorce bill. There'd be an immediate benefit in reduced tariffs on goods coming to the UK and increased ability to strike global trade deals. Should MPs vote to support a second referendum, Britons would have to return to the ballot once again to face the Brexit question.
The deadlock in Parliament at the moment, because no one can seem to decide, is to put it back to the people with two very distinct and obvious choices of remain or to leave with Thersea May's deal.
Parties including the SNP, Liberal Democrats and the New Independent Group back a second referendum, but according to Sky News, 56% of Britons are opposed to another vote.
Out means out! It did what I wanted! Out!
The Common Market 2.0 model would essentially mean a soft Brexit. In that situation, the UK would stay in what's called the European Economic Area, which includes all 28 EU countries and 3 nations that are not members of the EU: Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein, which means they're part of the single market, but not the EU or its customs union. They're also part of the European Free Trade Association, or the EFTA. These countries still contribute to the EU budget and have to abide by many of its rules and laws, except agriculture, fishing, justice and home affairs. The final option is to have a deal like the one struck with Canada, which would see the majority of goods being traded tariff-free between the UK and the EU. It's been backed by leading Eurosceptics such as Jacob Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson and the European Research Group. However, it doesn't take the unique circumstances of Northern Ireland's border into account, and would inevitably leave the UK outside the bloc's customs union and single market.
It is very hard to see any reason why the Cabinet should support Northern Ireland being ruled from Dublin.
So those are the 7 options, but which one would you vote for? Tell us in the comments below.